In this video, I'm going to show you some examples about negative SEO and what it looks like in real life. I'm going to share some screenshots. Hopefully, that should give you some idea. Now, the first one that we're looking at is the backlinks that were left by the attackers on our website. So remember, in the last video, I was telling you about how attackers can try to get access to the core files of your website. And in our case, they used a web shell file upload to gain access. And once they had access, they injected malware and defaced files. I'll show you that in the next picture. And they left backlinks like this, the one that you're looking at, exactly to that domain. Now, if you notice, they try to hide it with the simple um, CSS attribute like display none, right? So what happens in this case is when um, the page loads in the browser, and if it contains this link, then it will not be visible to people, but it'll load nonetheless. So this was uh, this was something that they did, among other things. Sorry. This one. The next picture is well, this is what our files look like after they were infected with malware, and many of our top loading pages were affected, and this is what it looked like. So we had to uh, build those files all over again. I'll tell you the impact of the negative SEO of negative SEO attack. What happens to websites after that? And in our case, we did a ton of things. We took a lot of corrective actions, but the damage was done because um, probably we should have monitored this a little more closely. But we thought we were just a small company and nobody would bother to attack us. But they did it anyways. That was a lesson learned. And that's why we're making these videos for information. And we want website owners to be aware of these kind of attacks, what they can do to your company and to your business. Let's go to the next image. Now, these are the junk links, junk URLs the attackers submitted to the search engines. So I don't know what they call it. They probably call it a link submission attack. So what happened in this case is, okay, firstly, I got this a screenshot from our Google Search Console, and we noticed that all of a sudden there were a couple of thousand URLs that were submitted, and Google was trying to index it and was making a big noise. So when we looked into this, we saw that somebody tried to submit all these junk URLs and basically trying to derank our websites. So many of these were already indexed, and some of them were not indexed, and so now we were left with two things to be done. One is we had to remove all the junk URLs that were indexed by Google and Bing and other search engines, and we had to prevent these search engines from indexing any more of these URLs. And it um, turned out to be not very complicated, but it took a while. So you could do that using your robots.txt file, And you can also do that using your the if you're using Cloudflare, then you can use it. You can block these kind of URLs using the web access firewall, and you can also do it using the htaccess file. So there are options that a website owner can take to block these kind of URLs, and you also have to make sure that you use the right canonical URLs for all your web pages. So I'm not going to talk about the remediation part in great detail, because I first want you to know uh, what a negative SEO attack actually looks like. Then we can talk about the corrective actions, part. So these are link submissions, and the attackers use a bunch of indexers and pingers and those kind of and applications. They also there are also a bunch of scripts available if you look for it, if you look for them on GitHub. So, but it's amazing that people spend their time and resources to destroy other websites. Uh, and that's why these criminals must not be tolerated, and we got to make sure that these guys are nabbed by the police and very soon. I'm going to show you the guys who actually carried out these attacks. I'm going to show it at the end of this video. Yeah, so let's go on. Okay, so these are spamming, spam traffic that we got. You can also call it DDoS attacks. So if you notice, uh, the same IP address tried to um, request different resources from a website, and none of these resources actually exist on a website. So these are basically spam, and they were probably using a scanner or something of that, trying to waste our server bandwidth and server resources. This can especially be a problem when website owners have a limited amount of bandwidth with their hosting service company. For example, let's say if somebody has a uh, hosting account that gives them 1 or 2 GB of bandwidth in a month, and uh, you run into these kind of problems, then your bandwidth will get used up, and legitimate visitors to your website may not be able to view your website. So that's basically the objective of the attackers. So moving on. Um, this is screenshot from our Cloudflare, firewall that shows a DDoS attack. So let's start from here, right from the top. You can see the same IP address making a number of hits on the website. It, and it's hitting the website many times in a second. If you look at the timestamps here, you can see that in 1 second it's making a, I don't know how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 10 requests in a second. Sometimes it may be more. It may be more, but so these requests are hitting our website a number of times in a second. So, and then looking at the second column from the right, you see the ASN number. All of them show Microsoft Corporation. So it's obvious that the attackers are running their attacks from a Microsoft server, so which is possibly an Azure server. Those guys are notoriously bad because they don't monitor stuff, and it's a pain getting in touch with their customer service. um, this kind of stuff has to be highlighted to the authorities in India, because um, Microsoft and other companies that provide cloud services and cloud servers, so virtual private servers, they have a strange way of dealing with complaints, which do not really conform to the requirements laid down by the government of India. So we have some work to do on that part as well. And if you look at the path, that's the first column on the right. All of them are vague paths, and um, this is basically a DDoS and scanning attack meant to exhaust the resources of a website and make it throw 404 errors and basically get it deranked in the search engines. And the location, the country of origin is showing up as Ireland. So Ireland and Singapore and these kind of places are, they have a ton of data centers, and from which cyber criminals can hire cheap cloud services and run their attacks from there. So I'll come back to that in detail in a while. Let's go on to the next image. This is again a DDoS attack that happened to us in September 2023. So notice that in this the second column from the right, where I've highlighted it in red, you can see that is the same IP address that's hitting a website number of times. Fortunately, by that time, we were on Cloudflare, and it handled the attack pretty well, but it basically wasted our time, and visitors couldn't access the website at that point because we had enabled certain features on Cloudflare. Um, so this is an example of a DDoS attack, which is also part of a negative SEO attack. All right, so in this image, you can see a hot linking attack. Remember, I told you in the previous video that hot linking and a hot linking attack is one where an attacker takes the URL of an image from your website and places them in different spammy um web pages and or porn or drug related pages that are not related at all to the topic of your website. The objective here being uh, they want the search engines to uh, think that your website is creating backlinks from low quality spam and non-related websites. So that's a hot linking attack. And what you're seeing here is a small variation of a hot linking attack where um, the attacker is requesting for one specific image file from our website. Um, Now, if you look at the very first column on the left, you see that um, these traffic seem to originate from different countries, and in the second column, which is the middle column, shows you different IP addresses. So these are basically proxies, and it's obvious that the whoever is running this or whoever was running that was using rotating proxies. So this is mm, this is a variation of hotlink attack. It's known, we'll probably call it a soft hotlink attack, right? So, but yeah, if you're using Cloudflare or if you're using a reverse proxy service, you should be able to manage this pretty well. This image shows you how they try to redirect the homepage of our website using a parameter which they try to add after the homepage URL. So uh, our URL was our URL is tekzilver.com, and they added a parameter after that. So that question mark S and whatever term it was meant to make sure that the home page never loaded and put it through a loop that never loaded. So we were able to identify that and take corrective actions. And since we had also used the proper canonical URL in our in the homepage of a website, Google blocked it, and it also did not index it. But yeah, it blocked it, and we were able to find it before it could do any damage. So this is how URL redirection happens in a negative SEO attack. So this is an interesting image that I wanted you all to see. Now this screenshot is taken from SEMrush. Remember, I use SEMrush to check the all the new backlinks that are getting created on a day-to-day basis. So we do that on a we do that to make sure that we don't have any unwanted backlinks hitting our websites. And so if you see this image, you see that the source of that backlink has the title "Where to Buy AIDS Domains and Backlinks," which Google absolutely hates, right? So Google does not like people buying um, backlinks to boost their search engine rankings. Google does not like people buying old domains and trying to get uh, SEO advantage out of it. So all of that are basically black hat techniques. And if Google algorithms find it, then your website is sure to get T ranked. But negative SEO attackers, they use this, and they try to create backlinks from these kind of websites, and to make your website look like they are breaking the search engine policies and get you deranked. Right, so it's important to monitor backlinks. You can also monitor backlinks from Google Search Console. Just go to the links option on the left, and you can see all the external links that are hitting your website. And if you see that there are ones that there should be there, then you can always get that removed. Or well, you can you may not be able to remove it from the Google search engine, but you can always get it disavowed. I will talk about the disavow file uh, in a later video. Here's one more similar screenshot from SEMrush, and so they were trying to create backlinks from a domain that Google was sure to uh, derank. So uh, let's go on and look at the next one. Okay, so in this image, you can see that as usual, they did a post request, and they were hitting a URL which they shouldn't be. which was WP admin. So there are some precautions that website owners have to take if they're running WordPress on their website. This came from an Indian IP address, and we've we blocked it on our firewall. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, this is this is an image of another DDoS attack that we faced. So take a look at the timestamps, the number of hits these IP addresses are hitting in 1 second. So if you see there are the IP addresses keep changing after every after every few hits, and this is a typical DDoS attack. And there are some legitimate IP addresses as well, but even they seem to be hitting the or requesting the wrong kind of resource. So this is pretty um, this is pretty bad. I think I should say, because this happens continuously, and whoever was running it, they made sure that it went on non-stop. And in our case, this has been going on for quite some time, and we've had to get into Cloudflare and make uh, corrective actions. If you look on the very first column on the right, you see that is these IP addresses are requesting for junk resources, which pretty much don't exist on the website. So the WP admin, um, main, new, BK, BC. I have no idea what these are, but yeah, this has been going on, and you can see um, some URLs that actually exist on a website, and this is a very common form of DDoS attack, and something that's meant to waste website resources. Check out the resource that they're requesting: system back protected files and whatever. So we took the screenshot so that we could use it to create some level of awareness. Look at the IP addresses and look at the resources that they were they were they were requesting. So if a website gets this kind of traffic, and if it continues to get that all the time, then it kind of slows down the website. And regular no your visitors to your website might think your website is taking too long to load and may not really wait. So it's important that we monitor traffic to our website and take corrective actions wherever required. Let's go on to the next image. Um, okay, we've seen something like this before. Remember, I spoke to you about the hot linking attacks, um, and the soft hot linking attacks, where people directly request images from your website. This is one of those. So again, it looks like they're using rotating proxies, because you see different countries and different IP addresses, all of them hitting the website in the continuously many times in a second. So hot linking attacks. This is what it looks like. Okay, so I don't have any other images, but I have something interesting to show you. I want to show you the faces of the guys who are actually running these kind of attacks. Um, Now, how did we find them out? So remember, I told you that our websites came under a negative SEO attack in November 2021. So it didn't end there; it started there. And one of the biggest mistakes that these guys did was they placed hidden backlinks from our websites to their website, and they used a simple display none CSS directive and thought nobody would look at the code. But we did. I mean, we found that out in no time. And we used that domain name that was there in the URL, and we tracked these guys down. And not only did we track them down, we found out the kind of infrastructure that they were using. We know all their IP addresses. We know all their host names. We know all their domain names, and we know where they're operating from and what are the networks these people use. And we've been we've been also looking at their at the historical data of their online activities and their profiles. They clearly show that these guys are involved in criminal activities. And of course, we've informed the police and the authorities about it, and we've also given them uh, all the evidence that's available, right? So, give me a minute. Let's take a look at those at these guys. All right. So the guys that you see on the screen, um for those who don't know what they're doing, these guys appear like any regular young entrepreneur or business person, but that's what they do. They run cybercrime, operations, and from the way these guys have been operating, it looks like they are part of a syndicate that runs cybercrime operations. I'm going to talk about each of these guys in very briefly. So the starting from the left, the first guy that you see is called Sudhanshu Sharma. Now this guy goes by a number of other names. He's also known as N. Sudhanshu. He's also known as Narmadeshwar Nath Sudhanshu. And that the name of the company that you see uh, below his image is called is that's called Tatvik Ayurveda, right? So that company, well, he owns that. He's co-founder of that company, and he runs it through his wife. Um, I'm not going to take a name here, but yeah. So this is one of the company this guy runs, and um, between all the three of them, they run a number of companies and all kinds of companies. So we're not interested in what they're doing otherwise, as long as it's legitimate. But if they're running a cybercrime operation and if that is going to impact us, then we become immediately interested in looking at everything else that these guys do. The guy in the center is called Budhesh Chopra. Um, uh, he apparently runs a company called Triple SI online tutoring service. Interestingly, these guys, the first and second guys, these guys are partners, co-directors in a company called Digiversal Consultants um, Private Limited, which is based out of Noida. Now, when they got caught uh, doing all this kind of stuff, apparently they um, they wanted to show that they split and each of them started running different companies. or at least that's what they wanted to show to the authorities. And each of them claim to be innocent. So that's an amazing part. Now, the guy on the far right, his name is Brijendra Sial. This guy is the CEO of a web hosting company in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. So the company front ends as a web hosting service provider or web hosting solutions provider, whatever he wants to call it. But uh, internally, these guys run cyber criminal operations through their web hosting infrastructure. So how their setup is interesting. So they hire their servers from companies like OVH, um, DigitalOcean, um, Amazon AWS, Microsoft Azure, and others. And they actually let out their servers. They let their customers hire full, virtual private servers from where they can run their websites. So legitimate customers run their legitimate businesses, but for people like these, they run cyber criminal, operations, and they run negative SEO attacks and all kinds of stuff. So this is basically what they do, and our intention here is not to slander these guys, but these are facts, and these are facts backed with evidence, and we have a ton of this evidence which we have already shared with the police and the government authorities in Noida. The problem with our cyber law enforcement in Uttar Pradesh is that there is very little awareness of this uh, type of cyber attack. In fact, there was no awareness. Nobody knew what it was. They didn't have a clue, right? And uh, the top cops, these guys were just administrators, right? So they don't do any investigation and the technical part of it. So let's say you notify the very top guy, like a DGP or a DIG, or whatever level. So that will cascade to the lowest ranks, which will eventually come down to a constable or an inspector, or the constable may not even know how to read or write English. Now, these are the kind of people who are expected to solve cyber criminal cases, and that's not the worst part. The worst part is these guys have no training except some basic stuff. So they have. I'll give you an example. Many people I spoke to, they didn't even have any clue what an IP address was, and what was the difference between an IP address and the DNS, or how to view the source code on a of a website or a web page on a browser. Simple stuff, basic stuff. um, they did have equipment in the sense that some of them even brought their own laptops to work from home, and then they took it back again, and then um, the time that they spent in the police station, they were mostly watching YouTube videos, and nothing much to be done. um, None of them had any access to, or none of them had any idea what are the tools that could be used to gain information. um, they didn't even try, because these guys had no interest to even explore things. So I don't want to get too deep into it, because I could keep talking about it for hours, considering what these people did. But yeah, let me show you the other two guys who are also part of this gang. Uh, these guys. So the first guy is called Piyush Srivastava, and the second guy is Akash Shandilya. Now, Piyush Srivastava um, is an employee of some kind of Digiversal Consultants, um, um, and Akash Shandilya is a family member of um, the one of the directors who goes by the name of um, NN Sudhanshu, right? So apparently, this Srivastava guy is an expert in uh, digital marketing and SEO, and he heads the um, digital marketing SEO for Digiversal Consultants. Um, and Akash Chandelier, being related to one of the directors, he coordinates between all of these guys. So I don't want to get too deep into their roles because the police are already looking into it, and um, they have sufficient information to do what they have to do. Now, the sad part is that people like these guys, they uh, spend time and spend resources, and probably they spend money on attacking other websites um, for whatever reasons. But negative SEO as such is a cybercrime, and there are a number of sections of the IT law in India that apply to it. So it's always bad to stay. I mean, it's always good to stay away from these kind of people. Cybercrime is a bad idea, and um, anybody who indulges in cybercrime will should expect to to be hauled up by the police and face the consequences, whatever. Um, so that was all I wanted to share in this video. We took a look at some of the examples of a negative SEO attack, and I showed you this gang who are actually running this operations. Uh, Two of them are located here in Noida, uh, and this guy, the guy on the right, is located in Indore, and these two guys are also located in Noida because this company Digiversal Consultants is located in Noida, right? So that was pretty much about it, and I'm going to be sharing more information in the days to come, so that um, uh, there's a certain level of awareness that's built around negative SEO as such, and how we can prevent it. Thank you.